Hey, Algebra 1, Mr. Catlin here, going over your homework, lesson 3 for your algebra homework. And we are solving quadratic equations by using our factored forms. And this first one is already in standard notation, so we can jump right into it. We're going to rewrite this in factored form, which is going to give us a pair of factors being multiplied. X squared to start, so I know I'm going to start with an x in the beginning. My constant is positive, so I know since my linear term is also positive, these are both going to be pluses. I just got to find the two numbers that I can multiply, get 11, and also have a sum that's 12, the linear term. And those two numbers are simply 11 and 1, right? So this is the factored version of this. And then what I need to do now by using the zero product property is set both of those equal to 0 and find out where these actually cross the x-axis. So x plus 1 will equal 0 when x is negative 1. And x plus 11 will equal 0 when x is negative 11. So these are my solutions to number 1. I know I went through that fast, but I feel like we did a lot of examples of those in class. If you have any extra questions, you can ask me later, or you can watch some extra videos online. There's all kinds of ways to factor standard quadratic equations online. All right, looking at number 2, there's a little bit of a curveball here. You'll notice that it's not equal to 0, so we need to make it equal to 0 by subtracting 1 from both sides. When we do that, we end up getting x squared minus 4. Now, the nice thing about this one is it is in standard form, but you're missing that linear in between. And when you're missing that linear term in between and you have a difference of two squares like this, there's a special case where we know that it's going to be a pair of plus minus mix, all right? Whenever there's a difference of squares, you're going to have a plus minus mixture in your factors, and your factors are just going to be these two numbers' square roots. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 4 is 2. So this is my factored version of this. If you get stuck on these, you can always make a diagram, and that might help you. I helped a couple of students today in class where the diagram helped them see that. So if you get stuck, draw the diagram, make it happen. This is what it would factor out to make that equal that, because the 2x and the 2x, negative 2x would cancel and make no linear term here. So when x plus 2 equals 0, x has to be negative 2 to make that work, right? And when x minus 2, the other factor, equals 0, x is going to have to be a positive 2 to make that work. So our solutions there are negative 2 and 2. Moving on to the last one, we have another situation where we need to make this equal 0. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. That only affects the 7 here. So this makes the standard form go from plus 7 to adding 2 to making that plus 9 equaling 0. So now I'm going to factor this guy out. And I know that my last term is positive and my middle term is negative. So the only way I'm going to get a positive product but a negative sum is if both of my factors have a negative in it. A negative times a negative can be a positive, and they can add together to be negative. So the x is going to be in the front, and my 9, the only way I can multiply and get 9 and add together and get 6 is if they're both 3, right? Because negative 9 times negative 9 is positive 9, and negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. So it makes that happen. And if I'm going to make x minus 3 equal 0, then x is going to have to equal 3. Now, I don't have to do this twice. They're identical, so there's no sense in me doing this twice. This is just going to be a parabola that hits the x-axis once. So I only have one solution. That is totally possible. 2 solutions on the first 2, 1 solution on the third one there. Peace out, guys. Be safe in the storm. Hope to see you back safe and sound tomorrow in class. Later.